Ever feel like you're constantly like battling bloating, like you could just float away after a meal?
Oh, tell me about it.
Well, get ready because we're going on a deep dive into the world of gut-friendly eating. Today, we are exploring Sophie Laurent's blog post, Foods That Harm versus Heal, Creating a Gut-Friendly Meal Plan.
Okay.
It was posted October 30th, 2024.
Sounds interesting.
It's so fascinating how much our gut impacts, like everything,
Yeah.
from our immunity to even our mood. So buckle up. You're about to learn how to make your gut happy and healthy.
I'm ready.
So what's often overlooked is that the gut isn't just a digestion machine, right?
Yeah.
What else is it?
Well, it's a complex ecosystem. It's home to trillions of bacteria, viruses, and fungi. That's your gut microbiome.
Trillions. Okay, I need a visual. Are we talking like a rainforest teeming with life here?
Exactly. A diverse, balanced microbiome is crucial for so much more than just digestion. It impacts our immunity, our mood, and even how our brains function.
Whoa, so it's not just about avoiding tummy troubles.
No, not at all. The gut-brain connection is mind-blowing. Imagine a superhighway of communication between your gut and your brain,
Okay.
constantly sending signals back and forth. This is the gut-brain axis, and it plays a role in everything from mood swings to potentially even serious conditions like Alzheimer's.
So what you're saying is what I eat could actually impact my risk of Alzheimer's.
There is research to suggest that, yes.
This is getting serious. Can you break down how exactly the gut impacts our brain and immunity?
Sure. So think of it this way. A healthy gut microbiome helps produce neurotransmitters like serotonin, which plays a crucial role in mood regulation.
Okay.
Research even suggests that an imbalance in the gut microbiome could contribute to conditions like depression and anxiety.
Really?
As for immunity, a whopping 70% of your immune system actually resides in your gut.
Okay, that pizza-induced cold I got last week is starting to make a lot more sense. So those good bacteria are literally our internal bodyguards.
They are. They help produce antibodies, control inflammation, and keep pathogens in check. But when the gut microbiome is out of balance, it's like a city in chaos. Things start to break down.
Oh,
This can lead to inflammation throughout the body, weakening your immune system, and making you more susceptible to illness.
So how do we know if our internal city is in chaos? Are there any telltale signs besides the occasional pizza-induced cold?
Yeah, Sophie Laurent's blog post outlines some common red flags.
Okay.
Persistent bloating, gas, constipation, or diarrhea are obvious signs. But you might also experience unexplained weight changes, frequent infections, skin issues like eczema, even brain fog or anxiety.
That's quite a list. I think I've experienced half of those this week alone.
ah,
Speaking of culprits, let's talk about the foods that might be wreaking havoc on our gut.
Okay.
What are they?
The usual suspects are unfortunately often the most delicious. Highly processed foods loaded with additives, preservatives, and artificial sweeteners top the list.
Okay, no surprise there. But even those, like healthy foods,
Mhm.
can be troublemakers for some people. Right?
Absolutely. Common allergens like dairy, gluten, and soy can trigger inflammation and digestive discomfort in those who are sensitive to them.
Yeah.
It's all about paying attention to your body's signals and figuring out what works best for you.
Okay,
What might be a superfood for one person could be a gut wrecker for another.
makes sense. It's like becoming your own gut detective.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to the good guys. What are some foods that can help us restore balance and get our gut back on track? I'm ready for a gut makeover.
All right, so instead of focusing on deprivation, Sophie Laurent recommends upgrading your diet by swapping out harmful foods for gut-friendly alternatives. For example, if dairy is a problem, almond milk, soy milk, or oat milk can easily replace cow's milk in your lattes and smoothies.
Ooh, I love a good almond milk latte.
Yeah.
And what about gluten? Some gluten-free products can be a bit bland.
True, but there have been huge improvements. Think quinoa, brown rice, and buckwheat as substitutes for wheat. You can find delicious gluten-free pasta, almond flour treats, and even tasty corn tortillas for your taco nights.
Okay, that's dairy and gluten covered. What about that sweet tooth? I can't imagine giving up my sugary treats entirely.
You don't have to. It's about choosing natural sweeteners that won't disrupt your gut. Honey, maple syrup, and coconut sugar can satisfy those cravings. And don't underestimate spices and fruits. Cinnamon, vanilla extract, or fresh berries can transform dishes without resorting to refined sugar.
Okay, I'm starting to see how these small swaps can really add up. It's not about deprivation, it's about making smarter, tastier choices. Now, are there any, like, superhero foods that can really take our gut health to the next level?
Get ready for some tangy goodness. We're diving into the world of fermented foods. Think kimchi, kombucha, sauerkraut.
Ooh, fermented foods. I'm intrigued, but also a little intimidated. We'll have to unpack that after a quick break.
Definitely. So we left off on the verge of exploring fermented foods.
Yes, we did.
They might not always be the most glamorous looking,
Yeah.
but don't let that fool ya. These tangy, fizzy, sometimes funky foods are packed with benefits for your gut.
I'll admit, kimchi and sauerkraut haven't always been like my go-to snacks.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely willing to give them a second chance if they can really help my gut. What is the science behind this fermented magic?
It all comes down to the amazing power of microorganisms. Fermentation is a natural process where bacteria and yeast break down sugars and starches in food, creating lactic acid, probiotics, and other beneficial compounds.
So those little microbes are basically working their magic to transform ordinary ingredients into, like, gut-boosting powerhouses.
Exactly. They're turning cabbage into sauerkraut, soybeans into tempeh, and milk into yogurt, all while creating a symphony of beneficial bacteria for your gut.
Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal.
Yeah.
But let's get specific. What are some of the top fermented foods we should be adding to our shopping carts?
Sauerkraut is a great place to start. It's incredibly rich in probiotics, vitamin C, and vitamin K.
Okay.
It's been linked to improved digestion, a stronger immune system, and even has anti-inflammatory properties.
So it's not just a condiment for hot dogs. I'm learning so much already. What about kimchi? I've seen it popping up everywhere, but I'm still not quite sure what it is.
Kimchi is a staple in Korean cuisine. It's a spicy, fermented mix of vegetables,
Okay.
usually cabbage and radishes,
Yeah.
with chili peppers and a variety of seasonings. Kimchi is loaded with probiotics and vitamins A and C.
Wow.
It also contains capsaicin, the compound that gives chili peppers their heat.
So kimchi's a flavor bomb and a gut health hero. Sign me up.
What's fascinating about capsaicin is that research suggests it can actually trigger apoptosis in cancer cells.
Wow, I never knew that.
Apoptosis is essentially programmed cell death.
Okay.
It's how our bodies get rid of damaged or abnormal cells.
Wow, kimchi officially just moved to the top of my must-try list.
Yeah.
What other fermented foods should we explore?
Kombucha is another popular choice. It's a fizzy, slightly sweet fermented tea drink
Okay.
made with a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast,
Okay, wait, what is that?
often called a SCOBY.
SCOBY.
Yeah, SEOBY stands for symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast.
Ah, great.
It's the living colony of bacteria and yeast that ferments the tea, giving kombucha its unique flavor and health benefits.
That makes sense. So kombucha is basically a party in a bottle for your gut.
You could say that. It's a good source of probiotics, B vitamins, and antioxidants.
Okay, and what are the benefits of, like, drinking kombucha regularly?
It's believed to improve digestion, boost energy levels, and support detoxification.
Okay.
Some people even find that it helps with mental clarity.
Detoxification and mental clarity. I think we could all use a bit of that. What about something a little more familiar?
Yogurt is a fantastic example. It's a dairy product, but the fermentation process makes it easier to digest for many people, even those with lactose sensitivities.
Yeah.
Yogurt is a great source of probiotics, calcium, and protein, making it a truly gut-friendly choice.
Yogurt, I can definitely get on board with that. I already love it for breakfast or as a snack.
Yeah, it's so versatile. You can enjoy it plain, add fruit and granola, or use it in smoothies, dips, and sauces.
Okay, so now I'm really feeling inspired to embrace the world of fermented foods.
Yeah.
But is it better to make these foods at home or buy them at the store?
Making your own fermented foods can be a fun and rewarding experience, but if you're just starting out,
Yeah.
there are plenty of excellent store-bought options.
Okay.
Just be sure to check the labels and choose brands that use traditional fermentation methods,
Okay.
and avoid added sugars or preservatives.
That's a great tip. I've definitely seen some fermented products that seem a little too processed for my liking. Speaking of grocery shopping, I have to admit I get overwhelmed by all the choices.
Yeah.
How can I make sure I'm filling my cart with truly gut-friendly foods?
Sophie Laurent has some great advice for building a gut-friendly shopping list.
Okay.
First, become a label detective. Look for hidden irritants like gluten, dairy, and added sugars,
Okay.
especially if you have sensitivities. Choose products with simple, natural ingredients that you can easily recognize.
So basically, the shorter the ingredient list, the better.
It's a good rule of thumb. Look for clean label products, minimally processed, and free of artificial additives, preservatives, and flavor enhancers.
What about organic versus non-organic? Does that make a difference for our gut?
It's a complex issue, but some research suggests that organic produce may be better for gut health because it's grown without synthetic pesticides and herbicides,
Okay.
which could potentially disrupt the gut microbiome.
So if my budget allows, opting for organic fruits, vegetables, and meats could be a good idea.
It's definitely something to consider.
Yeah.
And don't forget about proper storage. Fresh produce should be stored in the crisper drawer of your refrigerator to maintain its freshness and nutrient content.
Fine.
Herbs and greens should be wrapped in a damp paper towel to prevent wilting.
Oh.
And you can freeze fresh fruits and vegetables at their peak to lock in those nutrients and minimize waste.
Great tips.
Yeah.
I'm already thinking about how I can organize my fridge for optimal gut health. Now, what about those specific foods that can help us combat inflammation? I know chronic inflammation is linked to so many health problems, including gut issues.
That's an excellent point. Sophie Laurent highlights two key categories of anti-inflammatory superstars:
Okay.
herbs and spices and beneficial fats and oils.
Okay, ready to spice things up. Tell me more about these inflammation fighters.
Ginger is a classic for a reason. It's known for easing bloating, aiding digestion, and reducing nausea. Turmeric is another powerhouse, thanks to its active compound curcumin, which has potent anti-inflammatory properties.
I love adding turmeric to smoothies and curries. It gives them a beautiful golden color and a warm, earthy flavor. Are there any other spices we should be incorporating into our meals?
Cinnamon not only adds a delicious sweetness to dishes,
Yeah.
but also helps control blood sugar levels.
Okay.
And garlic is a prebiotic, meaning it helps feed the beneficial bacteria in your gut.
So we can literally feed our good bacteria with garlic. That's
Oh.
amazing. Now, what about those healthy fats and oils?
Omega-3 fatty acids are essential for overall health, including gut health.
Okay.
They have potent anti-inflammatory effects and can even help reduce symptoms of inflammatory bowel disease.
So we're talking about fatty fish like salmon, right?
Exactly. Salmon, tuna, mackerel, sardines, those are all excellent sources of omega-3s.
Yeah.
You can also find them in plant-based foods like walnuts, flax seeds, and chia seeds.
I love adding chia seeds to my smoothies.
Yeah.
They give them a nice texture and a boost of nutrients. What about avocados and olive oil?
Avocados and olive oil are both excellent sources of monounsaturated fats,
Okay.
which have anti-inflammatory property
Hmm?
and can help improve heart health.
Okay.
And coconut oil contains medium-chain triglycerides, which have antimicrobial properties that can help fight off harmful bacteria in the gut.
Okay, I'm starting to see how all these different foods can work together to create a symphony of gut-friendly goodness.
Yes.
But it's not just about what we eat right. It's also about how we eat.
You're absolutely right. Sophie Laurent dedicates a whole section of her blog posts to mindful eating practices.
Right.
This is where we can really start to make a difference in our day-to-day lives.
Mindful eating, it sounds a bit woo-woo to me.
Yeah.
What does it actually involve?
It's actually quite simple. It's about slowing down,
Okay.
paying attention to your food, and listening to your body's cues.
Okay, that makes sense. I know I'm definitely guilty of scarfing down my food,
Yeah.
especially when I'm busy or stressed. How can we practice more mindful eating?
Start by simply chewing your food thoroughly.
Okay.
Aim for 20 to 30 chews per bite. This not only aids digestion, but also allows you to savor the flavors and textures of your food.
Okay.
Another helpful tip is to put down your utensils between bites.
Okay.
This forces you to slow down
Okay.
and really be present with your meal.
And avoid scrolling through social media or watching TV while eating. I'm definitely guilty of that.
Exactly. Distracted eating can lead to overeating because you're not fully aware of how much you're consuming
Yeah.
or how your body feels.
What about portion control? Does mindful eating have anything to do with that?
It's not just about the size of your portions. It's about learning to listen to your body's hunger and fullness cues.
Okay.
Don't eat just because it's a certain time of day or because there's food in front of you.
So how do we know if we're truly hungry
Yeah.
or just bored or emotional?
Pay attention to the physical sensations of hunger. Do you feel a rumbling in your stomach?
Yeah.
Are your energy levels dipping? Are you having trouble concentrating? Those are all signs of true hunger.
Okay.
And what about fullness cues? How do we know when we've had enough?
Yeah. How do we know?
Notice how your chewing slows down as you start to feel satisfied.
Okay.
You might also feel a sense of contentment or a decrease in the desire for more food.
Okay. That makes sense. It's about being in tune with our bodies and eating when we're truly hungry and stopping when we're comfortably full. Now, we've covered a lot of ground today,
We have.
but I feel like there's still so much to explore in the world of gut health.
There is. And in our final part, we'll delve into the fascinating concept of seasonal eating and how aligning our diets with nature's rhythms can further support our gut health.
Welcome back to our gut health journey. Before we talk about seasonal eating,
Yes, that's right.
it sounds almost poetic,
It does.
but how does aligning our diets with nature actually benefit our gut?
Well, it's about tapping into the wisdom of nature's cycles.
Okay.
When we eat what's in season, we're getting the most nutrient-dense produce, bursting with fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants that our gut microbiome thrives on.
So it's not just about freshness, but also about getting the most nutritional bang for our buck.
Exactly.
Okay, so what does this actually look like in practice? What should we be eating during different times of the year?
Spring and summer are all about embracing light, vibrant foods
Though,
that mirror the energy of the season. Think leafy greens, juicy fruits, and crisp vegetables.
sounds delicious. Salads, smoothies, all things fresh and colorful.
Exactly. Asparagus and artichokes are great for digestion. Berries and citrus fruits provide a vitamin C boost to combat inflammation, and fermented veggies like sauerkraut and kimchi keep those good bacteria happy.
I'm already feeling lighter just thinking about it. But what about when the weather cools down? How can we keep our gut happy during fall and winter?
As the days get shorter and temperatures drop, our bodies naturally crave warmer, more nourishing foods.
Yeah.
This is the perfect time for hearty soups and stews,
Okay.
roasted root vegetables, and warming spices.
So comfort food season can still be gut-friendly. That's a relief.
Absolutely. Bone broth is a great addition.
Yeah.
It's packed with collagen,
Oh,
which
yeah.
supports gut health. Roasted sweet potatoes and other root vegetables are high in fiber and antioxidants.
Good.
And don't forget citrus fruits like oranges and grapefruits.
Okay.
They're an immune system boost that can also help reduce inflammation.
Okay, I'm loving this seasonal approach. It feels so intuitive and in tune with nature.
It is.
Now, we've talked a lot about plant-based options, but where do other protein sources fit into a gut-friendly diet?
Plant-based proteins are excellent choices for gut health.
Okay.
Legumes like beans, lentils, and chickpeas are fantastic sources of protein and fiber.
Yeah, I love beans and lentils, but they sometimes give me like some digestive trouble.
Yeah.
Any tips for avoiding that?
Soaking, rinsing, and thoroughly cooking legumes can help reduce those uncomfortable side effects.
Good to know. What about nuts and seeds? Are they considered gut-friendly?
They are. Nuts and seeds are packed with healthy fats, fiber, and nutrients that can soothe inflammation and promote a healthy gut.
Mm-hmm.
Think almonds, walnuts, chia seeds, pumpkin seeds. The options are endless.
I love adding a handful of almonds to my yogurt or tossing some chia seeds into my smoothies. Speaking of drinks, what should we be sipping on to keep our gut hydrated and happy? Water is obvious, but are there other gut-friendly beverages?
Water is always the best choice for hydration. It's essential for overall health.
Okay.
And staying well hydrated is crucial for optimal gut function. Dehydration can lead to constipation, bloating, and inflammation, so make sure you're sipping water throughout the day.
Okay, water is a given. But are there any, like, tasty alternatives?
Herbal teas are fantastic. They're hydrating and can provide additional gut-supporting benefits depending on the herbs used.
Oh.
Ginger tea can help soothe digestion, while chamomile tea can be calming for the gut.
I love a good cup of peppermint tea after a meal. It always
Yeah.
helps settle my stomach. What about bone broth? We talked about its benefits earlier.
Yes.
Does that count as hydration?
Absolutely. Bone broth is incredibly nourishing and hydrating. It's like a warm hug for your gut.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired to up my hydration game. Now, we've covered so much information.
Yeah.
How do we take all this knowledge
Yeah.
and turn it into, like, actionable steps? It can feel overwhelming to change our eating habits overnight.
You're right. It can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
That's where meal planning comes in. Sophie Laurent recommends creating a weekly meal plan that incorporates all the gut-friendly foods we've discussed.
So if I'm currently living off takeout and processed snacks, it's time to start making some swaps.
Exactly. Start by prioritizing lean proteins, fiber-rich fruits and vegetables, probiotic-rich foods, and healthy fats.
Okay.
And try to limit those processed foods, sugary drinks, and excessive amounts of unhealthy fats that we talked about earlier.
That makes sense. But I have to be honest, I'm not the best meal planner.
Yeah.
Any tips for making it, like, easier and more enjoyable?
Don't try to change everything at once. Start small.
Okay.
Focus on making 1 or 2 gut-friendly swaps each week and build from there.
Got it.
Experiment with new recipes, explore different cuisines, and find what works for you and your lifestyle.
Great advice.
Yeah.
It's all about making sustainable changes, not about striving for perfection.
Right.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to touch on something that Sophie Laurent mentions in her blog post: sustainable food choices. How can we make choices that are good for our gut and good for the planet?
It's an important connection. Choosing locally sourced seasonal produce is a great way to support local farmers. Reduce your carbon footprint and ensure you're getting the freshest, most nutrient-dense food possible.
That makes perfect sense. What about organic foods? Are they worth the extra cost?
Organic foods are grown without synthetic pesticides, herbicides, and fertilizers,
Right.
which can negatively impact the environment and potentially disrupt our gut microbiome. Choosing organic, when possible, is a great way to support sustainable agriculture and reduce your exposure to potentially harmful chemicals.
Okay, I'm adding organic to my shopping list.
Uh,
Any other tips for making sustainable food choices?
Be mindful of your meat consumption. Meat production has a significant environmental impact.
Yeah.
So consider reducing your meat intake or choosing sustainably raised meats.
Okay.
And don't forget about reducing food waste. Plan your meals carefully, store food properly, and get creative with leftovers to minimize the amount of food that ends up in landfills.
Those are all great tips. So as we wrap up our deep dive into gut-friendly eating, what are the key takeaways we should remember?
Our gut health is intricately connected to our overall well-being. By making conscious food choices, incorporating mindful eating practices, and prioritizing sustainability,
Yeah.
we can create a thriving gut microbiome and support a healthier, happier life.
This has been an amazing journey. I feel so much more informed and empowered to take control of my gut health. And for listeners who are ready to put their newfound knowledge into action, Sophie Laurent's blog is packed with delicious gut-friendly recipes.
Oh, that's awesome.
You can find it at clamwithinchaos.blog. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep those guts happy and healthy.